that are coming together to wish former President Jimmy Carter a very happy 100th birthday. He will be setting a new record, the longest former president to live to 100, the only, I should say. Jimmy Carter turns the 100, the big 100 on October 1st. The celebrations are kicking off tonight. We have our Blair Miller, Atlanta News First evening anchor, talking with the Fox Theater CEO, Alan Vella, and then further down, I'm not sure if you can see it, is, of course, Jason Carter, who is speaking to some members of the media. Hopefully we'll get to catch him as he makes his way closer to us. But as you can see, this blue carpet, the star-studded blue carpet that we have here for you, is going to fill up with just some of the most beloved musical talents in Atlanta and across the country. And, of course, some nostalgic favorites for so many of you. We are just waiting here moments for everybody to start walking through those doors. I do believe doors open here at 5:30, so the first couple of these guests coming in, very special guests, talking to some members of the media, our Blair Miller right over there talking with the Fox Theater CEO. And of course, we are going to be streaming right here on Atlanta News First Plus, really getting you an up-close look at all of the celebrities, all of the special guests, the family members, and everybody who is coming here to wish Jimmy Carter a very happy 100th birthday. And again, we're streaming. This is live, so you get to see all of the behind-the-scenes talent here and all of the magic that's about to happen. I want to walk you through exactly what these next couple hours are going to hold ahead of that big celebration and song. It's not just the music, it is film, it is multi-talent that is going to be taking the stage inside of the Fox Theater. And by the way, if you have been inside of the Fox Theater, you know it is magical on its own. And of course, it's going to be even more magical. We're talking about a celebration for a national beloved figure, Jimmy Carter, not only loved and treasured here in Georgia, but really across the world for not only his impacts during his presidency, but actually way beyond his time with Habitat for Humanity, his nonprofit work, his international devotion to creating the world and leaving it better than he found it. That was something he had long said was a mission for him. And so Jimmy Carter, on the cusp of turning 100 years old, gets to be celebrated tonight by a lot of people here in Atlanta who hold him near and dear, and of course many more across the country. I want to talk about this lineup here. We have many musical talents: Angélique Kidjo, BeBe Winans, Carlene Carter, again a country music legend in her own right. She is the daughter of June Carter Cash, Duane Betts, India Arie, a personal childhood favorite of mine, Lalah Hathaway, the B-52s, an iconic group, as well as Chuck Leavell, D-Nice, Drive-By Truckers, Eric Church, GROUPLOVE, The War and Treaty, and of course, this wouldn't be a proper Georgia celebration without the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Chamber Chorus, who are going to be closing everything out. So, like I mentioned, we have several hours still ahead of us, starting with this star-studded blue carpet, not a red carpet. They've rolled it out in blue, and I do believe we have Fox Theater CEO Alan Vella here. We are live here with Atlanta News First Plus. Sir, I just wanted to take a moment, to marvel at what a beautiful organization of folks of love that you have created here today, but talk about all of the hard work that has gone into this.
Well, they probably started planning about 6 months ago for this event, and when a show like this comes in, we're kind of a roadhouse, essentially. A lot of the shows are ready to go, they're pre-produced, they're ready to roll in and set up, and this show's a little bit, you're kind of creating from the very beginning, and the team has worked around the clock since Monday on putting the show together, but we're really excited it's going to come off great.
And what are you personally looking forward to the most? You have got to see many musical talents, many performance arts moments here at the Fox Theater yourself, but this is truly a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
Right, certainly all of our Georgia artists, like Chuck Leavell and the B-52s and Killer Mike, those are the ones I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you, sir, for everything that you've put together here today. I know a lot of people are going to marvel at tonight and really appreciate all of the hard work that you and your team put into.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that.
All right, Ellen Bella, thank you so much. We are live here with Atlanta News First Plus, and I'm just going to step out of the shot here so you can see as more and more people make their way in. Again, we're live, so you're getting all of the behind the scenes, every single person that makes it down this blue carpet, this marvelous blue carpet, wishing Jimmy Carter a happy 100th birthday. Again, not his birthday today. His birthday will be 2 weeks from today on October 1st, and we are going to ring that in here loud and proud in Georgia, and hopefully he's starting to feel the love tonight with this marvelous presentation. Again, we just spoke with Fox Theater CEO Alan Bella, who talked about how much work went into this, 6 months of active preparation. And you know the Fox Theater stays busy, but for them, this was all really worth it. And in every single detail that you're going to see tonight, every person that is going to walk down this carpet, they are going to wish Jimmy Carter a happy birthday. They are going to really put their musical talents, their words into wishing this former president who has touched so many of our lives a happy birthday, as he deserves to ring in that moment of calling himself a centennial. 100 years old is not an age that a lot of us make it to, and for someone as beloved as former President Carter, it really does say a lot, and it has impacted a lot of people throughout his life. So we're going to take you closer now. As you can see, some of the Carter family members, Jason Carter, right there talking to some members of the media. He is one of the distinguished guests here tonight, so we will hopefully get a chance to talk to him. But you know, Jason Carter has been really a communication center for so many of us, looking out for his own commentary, health updates, little moments within the family of what Jimmy Carter is like in his older age, as a grandfather, as a father, you know, enjoying his life after presidency and after all of the humanitarian work and the amount of time and effort that both himself and former First Lady Rosalind Carter, that they have given back worldwide, to now think of them and think of their history and the lives that they have touched. You know, Jason Carter, obviously a staunch and outspoken part of keeping us all up to date on what Jimmy Carter gets up to these days. And of course, the latest that we did hear from Jason Carter was of his health update, saying his grandfather is in good health and declining health, but you know, giving us updates and moments into the family life of Jimmy Carter as we all take a moment like today and celebrate his 100 years. So we're going to try to see if we can listen in on some of what he's saying now. You can imagine the amount of attention around Jason Carter, especially, who has been so vocal about his about the former president and about every step of the way in his health and his emotional state, giving us really intimate details into the former president's days. And again, now being here for his 100th birthday is expected, and we know that Jason Carter wouldn't miss a moment like this, and everybody who's coming out, just Georgia favorites, Chuck Leavell, Killer Mike, of course, so many others that are making their way to this blue carpet. Any moment now, you'll see them that are going to then be musical acts or celebrity appearances. They're going to be giving speeches, and it's really just a night to think of Jimmy Carter, to reflect on his life, to reflect on his contributions, and delight in the wonderful path that he created, both within his administration, and as many will tell you tonight outside of it, all of the nonprofit work he's done, all of the humanitarian work that he has poured his heart and soul into. The former president, time and time again, saying that that was an important thing for him. He was a religious advocate. He taught people in Plains in his own community. So you really talk about the humble beginnings of Jimmy Carter, a peanut farmer, making his way up to Georgia leadership and then to the presidency and not stopping there. It is truly something to marvel at. And we're going to take you throughout this blue carpet, this red carpet extravaganza that we have here for you, as we detail what is still to come for the Jimmy Carter 100, a celebration in song. This is an event that is sponsored by Delta, is being presented by Delta, and of course is all about strengthening the Carter Center's mission of advancing peace and health initiatives worldwide. Earlier this year, we took you out to the Carter Center as this organization really works to further the mission of both former President Jimmy Carter and former First Lady, the late Rosalynn Carter, and their missions across 80 countries to advance democracy, human rights, and economic opportunities. Of course, this night is not only a reflection of everything that they've done for us, but also just making sure that we're sending love to the former president as much as we can, as a proud Peach State where he was born, raised, and then took to the national stage and really setting us on the map. All of his contributions for film here in Georgia that are lasting to this day, and you'll hear from some of these folks that make it down this red carpet, this blue carpet, I should say, talk about that. Again, these musical performances that we are going to get a chance to see some of these acts here. A lot of Georgia locals, a lot of Georgia icons. We also have celebrity presenters like Killer Mike, like Mary Wharton, who's going to actually be showing a documentary called The Jimmy Carter Rock and Roll President. That will be a delight to take in a different side of the former president. It's a short film that's going to explore his personal relationship with popular musicians, highlighting how music plays a role in breaking down barriers. That's really what tonight's all about. It's about honoring Jimmy Carter, the big 100, this historic moment for a former president, our longest living president, to really, as a state, pay him some proper birthday celebrations with everybody coming together, again, across Peach State, across the nation. We have musical acts like BeBe Winans, India Arie. We have celebrity presenters. We have the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra that is making its way out, and so many other members. Both you heard just moments ago, the Fox Theater CEO. We have Delta representatives here. Of course, this is a moment that nobody wants to miss, and even family members making their way out. We have Jason Carter, we have the Carter grandchildren, so a lot of personal moments, a lot of happy tears, and a lot of celebration will be shed tonight as we all take a moment to celebrate the one and only Jimmy Carter, of course, the Carter Center here as well. And I do believe Jason Carter and some of the Carter grandchildren are making their way down. We're going to try to see if we can grab them and listen in on them talking about what a wonderful honor tonight is, and of course, their beloved grandfather.
Look at this remarkable birth, like a group of artists all responded to this call, right? I mean, these are people, some of whom weren't even born when my grandfather was the president, who are just excited to be here and celebrate the president to be beyond politics or beyond legacy and understanding. But we're really thrilled by that.
I just try to be more colorful.
I think my grandfather really used music as a way to connect across generations, across geographies. And when he was coming up in the South in politics, he needed to help announce this new South, putting the old ways of Jim Crow segregation behind think he's excited. I mean, he's humbled, but he feels like he didn't do anything to get to 100, right? I mean, this is he's not in charge of that, right? His faith journey is one that he has been living throughout his whole life, and I think these last several years, especially, he has really given himself over to God's plan and believes in that fundamentally, and so he would give something there. But at this point, I think he's just excited to see the show and to be glad that we're all partying for him with 5 generations of partners.
How is he doing right now, and what do you guys look forward to on his birthday, which is
So this big event here tonight is really our way of celebrating him publicly. And there's going to be a much smaller family time down on his actual birthday on October 1st. And we're excited to go down there and just be, last time I was with him, we sat and watched the baseball game, just the way that we would have in the whole thing. So he's still having those experiences, and we're really excited to be sharing them with him. I mean, I think this is it's a really fun event, right? We are celebrating. Not everybody gets 100 years, obviously, and when somebody does and then uses that time on this earth to live out their life for others, to do good, it's just worth celebrating, and it's fun for us as a family to be able to share that with the public and with the world to some extent, and then also to have our private moments with him. So we feel really great.
How is he doing? Is he able to watch tonight?
He's definitely going to watch, and he's doing okay. I mean, he's been in hospice for 19 months now, and so he's really physically diminished, but he's emotionally engaged, and he's still having these remarkable experiences in this world, and so he's excited.
What will you be watching for tonight? What will mean the most to you tonight?
I think really just this remarkable, diverse, incredible group of artists. India, Arie, and the Drive-By Truckers in the same place. Giving tribute to the humanity that this person represents, and it's a thrilling thing for us.
You've got your sons here with you. What do they think about being here tonight?
I mean, you should ask them. They're getting big, but
I know you're going through it tonight. But what do you think about being here tonight? What does it mean to you?
Well, so I mean, it's really exciting to get to see the show. It's obviously a super star-studded lineup, but also it's great to just put his legacy back in the spotlight, right? To celebrate his 100th birthday is it calls to attention all of the good that he's done throughout his life, and I think that's super. That's awesome. Powerful.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, let's work our way to
Senator.
right here to the end.
Hey man, long time no see.
Very long time. Well, you're on our station all the time. Just not me. So.
Hold on a second. Let's go here.
Okay, come in.
Hi, Jason. Nice to meet you. Grandfather has just a love for music. He even had a record player always around him all the time. How significant is that?
So there you heard it, our cameras moving around. Jason Carter talking about his grandfather, Jimmy Carter, talking about his health, which a lot of us have an ongoing curiosity about, and saying physically the former president has been diminishing, as you can expect, in hospice care for over 19 months now, but emotionally, mentally, he is present. He is taking in these moments, and, really that is a warmth to all of us to hear moments like that as we talk about the former president, the only living president at 99, soon to be 100 years old, reaching this milestone means so much for the family and meaning so much for all of the lives that former President Jimmy Carter and First Lady Rosalind Carter had touched. Jason Carter saying it best, the former president being emotionally, mentally in good spirits, that taking in every single moments like these, and knowing that this celebration is being held for him is going to mean so much for the family. And really that's what tonight's all about, is reflecting and honoring, and for the family to be coming here for these musical acts, for these amazing people that we look up to in the performance arts industry, and of course for all of the folks that put tonight together. This is really about honoring the former president, honoring the family.
We're both lucky to have gotten to know him as a person, and it's been a wonderful learning experience. out some chords, and that's it's just great to like he's so smart and like he's a great person.
We're going to try to get you a little closer to the Carter family as they make their way down, talking to different members of the media. Just a moment ago, he was talking to our Blair Miller, now taking photos. Jason Carter joking around, saying, "Don't make me look bad." But of course, echoing some of what he said, if you couldn't hear earlier, talking about the former president, talking about this figure that's both intimate and personal to them as a father, as a grandfather, but also, and I do believe we're going to be able to get close enough for you to hear, so let's listen in.
For your grandfather, what is the role of music? He goes, as you said, at the end of his fame journey. What is the role of music here?
I think he's in the house, and he is, when he's awake and when he's doing the things that he continues to love, music is one of those things. And so, a lot of folks, as we've sort of shined a light on hospice service in general, one of the things that is a part of that in many, many contexts is music. And so that's the role today, but of course it's also just a way that he's continuing to celebrate and connect.
And then, love that, you've talked about that. He wants to be there to vote for the vice president. Got the absentee ballot marked and called for. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so in Georgia, as you know, he's a regular voter. Over a certain age, he's going to get that vote by mail. He's going to fill it out, and he's going to do his duty as a citizen. I think one of the things that's remarkable about him is that he's been alive for 100 years, but he also was only in big time politics for 8. So those other 90 plus years, he's been a citizen, which he thinks of as the greatest title you can have in this country. And he's going to use that opportunity to cast his ballot.
Anybody else?
Hi.
Hey, Kate.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
See you.
You too.
Maybe just talk to me a little bit about how music is the perfect way to pay tribute to your grandfather.
So I think music is a perfect tribute because it's one of those fundamental human connections that brings people together across geographies, across culture, across any sort of racial dividing lines. You'll have Democrats, Republicans in here tonight. You'll have people from across the world in here tonight, and it's a way to be together. And I think that is who he is fundamentally, is someone who has respected those human connections, lived his life to love his neighbor as himself, and that's one way in which music really just defines that legacy.
As someone who grew up in the segregated South and the son of a very powerful and strong woman, how excited is he perhaps to vote for Kamala Harris?
He was excited to turn 100, but he's more excited to cast his ballot for Vice President Harris. And I think he's ready to turn the page on Donald Trump, like many, many of the rest of us. And I also think that he does believe in this historical moment, right? It would be an incredible story at the end of his 100-year life that is continuing on, as we know, to have grown up in the segregated South and for his one of his last political acts to be helping to elect a black woman as a president. I do think it would be important. But I also think he wants to see this country brought back together. I think he wants to reduce that polarization. I think he wants us to focus on the things that make us Americans first and fundamentally, and I think that he thinks she can do that.
How has the general feeling of the election maybe changed in Georgia since Kamala Harris now has announced the candidate? She's now on the top of the ticket.
Well, I think you've seen after President Biden's courageous, almost historical decision to pass the torch, I think you've seen an enormous uptick in energy. You've seen an enormous uptick in, the organization that was in place has been energized in real ways, and you've got a race on our hands here. And I think this election in Georgia is close enough so that it matters what people do, right? The campaign is going to matter, the organizers are going to matter, each voter is going to matter, and I think that's a good place for us to be because it gives us a robust discussion.
How is Jimmy Carter teaching us a Sunday school lesson or perhaps a lesson in life by living to 100?
I think the fundamental fact about a life that goes to 100 is that you don't get to pick it, right? You never know how much time you're going to get in the world. And the question is, what do you do with the time that you have? And I think that his lesson, for us at least, is that he has had a long time and he's used every minute of it to do the best that he could.
The Methodist credo is do as much as you can, for as many as you can, for as long as you can, and he's really done it longer than almost anybody can. How does he mark the moment for his 100th birthday?
I think that he is excited to be here. I think that he is excited to be with his family and in the ways that he is. And I think the most fundamental part of who he is at this moment, as he marks 100th birthday, is that he's in Plains, Georgia. You know, that's where he's from. That's where he was grounded. It's a 600-person village in the middle of nowhere. And all of his other work at the end of the road in Africa and Mali and South Sudan has been in those same kinds of 600-person villages. And he feels a kinship there. He feels a connection there. And I think the way that he marks this moment is by being at home.
I'm going to ask the next tough question.
All right.
Okay, we're going to go here.
And then I got to go.
So the
you're gonna ask
yeah,
Tom. This you got to ask.
is it
Tom.
okay?
He
We're
said
going to
too
ask.
many.
Yeah. I just want maybe you guys to explain to me how you hope to live up to your great-grandfather's legacy the rest of your lives.
Good luck with that.
So, I mean, like he was saying earlier, he's used like every minute of his life to help as many people as he could, and that's obviously like a daunting thing to face, to try to fill his shoes, live up to his legacy. But that's definitely something that both of us would hope to achieve. Yeah.
And are you excited to have the opportunity to do that, to sort of follow in his
Excited,
footsteps?
very excited. A little nervous, because it's pretty hard to do, it seems like. But yeah, just to do all that I can to hopefully start to live up to that. Start both of us to try to build up to that point.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. That's my question to you. You're bringing your kids up here.
Yeah.
I know they know about this man behind you, but how he's tied to your grandfather and just
Sure.
that legacy that he's
Sure.
seen and how he feels.
Sure. So Ambassador Young just came in. We're so thrilled, of course, to have him here. He's such an important friend to my grandfather. I mean, and my grandfather, as he came up in the South in politics, came up from a segregated past and really helped usher in this new South and the America that we have today that is still in the process of putting that behind us. And so I think Andrew Young is a hero of my grandfather's, a faith friend, and just a remarkable guy. So we're excited to hang out with him.
We just seen him here. It got to be emotional.
It is a big deal. Every time I see Andy Young, I get emotional. He's a remarkable person, and we're thrilled to share this night with him.
Thank you so much.
All right, you want to go say, hey, then we got to get one picture for the business card.
Jason, he's right here.
Let's just do that real quick.
Yeah, I just saw
All right,
Andy back.
so- Just at the end of this blue carpet, we have Andrew Young, really a historic, beloved man here in Atlanta, in Georgia. I mean, you can't live in Atlanta and not know Andrew Young, and for so many around the country, you know, this moment, having the Carter family come out, having folks like Andrew Young come out, is really a representation of the lasting impact and the significance of tonight and what is former President Jimmy Carter. And just beyond him, you have, of course, Angélique Kidjo. We're going to try to get them closer our way. We're here at the end of the carpet, but live with you on Atlanta News First Plus. We're going to get this star-studded lineup of musical guests and talents, and I think Jason Carter said it best when he was talking to us earlier. Music is really the way to go to tribute somebody like Jimmy Carter. You talk about all that he's done for film and performance arts, and his personal love for music and all genres, rock and roll, country. I mean, the former president really was a personality of his own and outspoken about his love for music. And tonight we have folks across the musical genre and across the musical scene who are coming out and giving that love right back. So we have Andrew Young just at the end of this blue carpet. Right behind him, Angélique Kidjo, the legendary singer, 5-time Grammy Award winner, and Africa's premier diva. That's directly from Time magazine, and I think she'll say it, that she stands by that title. Of course, a beloved musician and a singer, and one that has made tonight all about dedicating her talent, dedicating her heart to Jimmy Carter and what will be his 100th birthday. And the room is starting to get louder. So I'll try to talk with you folks as we're waiting for Andrew Young, for Angélique Kidjo to make their way down. And of course, we have more folks right behind them, musical acts, celebrities, Georgia icons that will be walking down this carpet, and we'll get a chance to show them to you and hopefully talk to them right before they make their way inside the Fox Theater for a lovely tribute and reflection of Jimmy Carter as we all ring in and celebrate 100 years of life for the former president. Again, his birthday October 1st, but the celebrations here in Atlanta, the celebrations in Plains, those are starting right now, and they will keep on going. It is not every day that anybody turns 100, let alone a living former president. So you know this is going to be a massive deal. We have Angélique Kidjo right behind Andrew Young, and then BeBe Winans, of course, on this musical lineup. We have a Georgia legend, Chuck Leavell, D-Nice, the Drive-By Truckers, who can forget about them, and of course, a GROUPLOVE, Maren Morris, the War and Treaty, and the one and only Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Chamber Chorus. It is not a celebration without the Atlanta Symphony, and they are going to be making their way out here. And talk about musical talents. We have India Arie, the B-52s, Lalah Hathaway, just an endless lineup of musical talents, of Georgia icons in the music scene, and of course celebrity presenters like Killer Mike. And it's not just music we're talking about. Renowned director Mary Wharton will be actually walking down this carpet and talking about the documentary Jimmy Carter, Rock and Roll President, which will be shown tonight specifically for this 100-year celebration and song. It's a short film exploring the former president's personal relationship with music and his love of music. And there you have it, that exchange between Andrew Young and Angélique Kidjo. Of course, you love to see the smiles on everybody's faces, both looking fabulous, might I add, and of course talking to multiple members of the media making their way down this blue carpet as we greet more and more of these talents that are going to be coming down. But no better way to start off this night than with seeing the Carter family, seeing Andrew Young, and of course starting to see these musical talents. Starting to see musical talents like Angélique Kidjo. We're just going to keep this rolling. Right behind Angélique Kidjo is GROUPLOVE, who's going to make their way down this carpet as well. And we're just getting you a closer view of all of these stars and these icons that are making their way down the blue carpet. We have more and more people coming in. This is a black tie event, and that was not optional. Of course, everybody coming out dressing their best, all in honor of the former president. So as you can see right there, we have Andrew Young making his way down, and of course multiple of musical talents that you'll see here tonight that are going to be highlighting their love and sharing their admiration of the former president. The Carter family will be in the audience, so a tribute to them, and of course really a night of celebrating the 100 years of life for the former president. Still 99 at this very moment. He will be 100 in 2 weeks on October 1st. But as I mentioned, the celebrations are starting right now with this musical night, this celebration and song that is being dedicated to the former president, of course, on this night at the Fox Theater. And I do believe we have Andrew Young speaking to some members of the media here in Atlanta. We're going to try to get you closer to him and really hear his heart and sharing his memories with the former president. You know, the two, as Jason Carter said, admired each other really, and that admiration runs deep. The history that they have shared and the history of Atlanta that they have seen together, of Georgia and really the nation. So Andrew Young, a well-respected icon here in Atlanta, of course celebrating another well-respected icon, the one and only former President Jimmy Carter. And Angélique, we are with Atlanta News First Plus. We just want to talk about what an amazing night tonight will be. Many musical talents such as yourself, you're so well respected in the musical community. But what was tonight really about for you coming out here?
For me, it's not only celebrating his 100th anniversary, it's my way to thank him from Africa, the whole continent of Africa. People who have loved to be here, that he has touched, changed their life, that has never been had the chance to say thank you to Mr. Carter. A lot of people come to Africa with good ideas and good intention. Very few succeed because the task is overwhelming. Or also because they are doing it for another agenda. For him, it was not checking something on the board. It's his commitment to make sure that those diseases that have solutions, that we can help people actually get a better life. Not only you save the lives, but you help the economy of the countries. When people are not sick, they go to work. They can feed their family. They can do a lot of different things. His commitment never, ever, ever changes. Because you can go to anywhere in Africa. You talk about any NGOs, people roll their eyes. You talk about the Carter Foundation, you see a big smile on the face of the people. Because his commitment was not because he was a former president of the United States. He wanted to make people live the life they deserve to live, period. And for me, it's the only way and the only moment that I was offered to come on stage and sing and say, thank you, Mr. Carter. Thank you for seeing us as human beings that you respect, keep our dignity. Even though we need help, you never see us as just an action, but just as people. Thank you, Mr. Carter. I can't say it enough.
Jimmy Carter represented the best of us, really, and continues to, for all of his humanitarian work and his work abroad. What do you hope people take from that as we look to the future?
What I hope people take from that is that we can help people in our communities. You don't have to travel miles away to help people. And when you are immune to the suffering and the need of your people, you cannot go anywhere and help anyone, because you need to see your humanity in others to help them. And he is a man that understands that a human life is above the color of the skin of the person, is above the money you make. It's just because you're a human being you are worth fighting for. And I want people to realize that in this era of technology, if we do not from time to time get out of the cloud of technology and look around in our family, look around who needs. I mean, you can tutor people, kids that are having problems in math or anything. There's so much we can do that can help us understand the policy we want to in our countries. We're talking about school, people playing, taking books away. But do we understand profoundly what it means to educate a child? Education takes you a long way. My father always used to say to me, when you are educated, you will be able to face the constant change of the world. The world is in mutation every time, every moment, every second. How do you live facing those changes, seeing them as opportunity instead of a threat to you, and how you can play a role as a citizen in this world to do your part? We need to see America as a beacon of peace and hope for everybody. We lose this, the whole world's gonna go in shambles. And I'm telling you, when Mother Nature comes knocking at the door, you can be the richest man on this planet, you're going to be flooded out. That's the thing that I learned seeing in the example of the work that Jimmy Carter does. He thinks on the long term. The short-term vision is killing us. Globalization is good, but we cannot be the same. We all don't think the same. In the same family as your brother, you don't think the same, right? So why we want to create a world where we're going to be a copycat of one another? I don't want that world. I want to be me, unique. I can't be the bad one, the good one, I don't care. But I don't want to be like anybody else. And that's the thing that I want people to, the youth of today, I want them to feel empowered by what he does, to see their own power, to see their own worth. It doesn't matter what political party you come from. It's not the problem. How do you see yourself today? I always say the youth, you live in a country when the youth is not able to dream anymore, you have a problem. You need to dream about a future that you can participate on. You can mold, you can create, you can invent, whatever you want to do. And we need to come fast to this generation, Zen, whatever you call them. They have ideas. Let's listen and let's work with them.
So beautifully said.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Georgians who believed that Georgia was a place that could chart the future, and that a country boy from a really, Plains is a country town, and I pastored in Beachton, Georgia, as one of my first churches, Beachton and Thomasville. I was further south than he was, but I still go back down there, and the thing that amazes me is how strong, how wise, and how loving people still are. And nobody believes that has not experienced it.
You mean so much to this community and so much to this country.
Well, and I think Jimmy Carter's going back home and standing up for the same things he stood up for all over the world has been both a challenge and a blessing. And we all might get to heaven because of his conscience.
It's a pleasure talking with you. I do appreciate your time, Pastor Andrew Young, and what he has to say is so fitting. And you hear that so much up and down, people sharing their stories, but also
it means I get to rethink
so much
a lot of good memories. I can't remember how old I was when I met President Carter. I hadn't figured it out, but it was a long time ago. But I was surprised when I met him, and I was even more surprised when I met his mother.
No, I won't get out. Go on and check what you did.
This was in 1970. They were global citizens back then. And Miss Leanne had been to the Peace Corps when she was 66 years old in India, doing in many ways the same thing that she had been doing in South Georgia, caring for children and delivering babies. I can hear her now raising hell about what the Congress is trying to do and been doing to abuse and deny women the right to control their own bodies. She would have really raised hell. Because she was a person who understood God's children. She had grown up mostly poor, but her father was a very religious man. And she kind of took the poverty and religion and figured out that Jesus wanted you to feed the hungry and heal the sick, and that's what she did. And she taught her sons to do that through government.
What should Americans take away from the celebration for President Carter?
There you heard some of Ambassador Young, speaking on former President Jimmy Carter with so much love and admiration and a deep respect. I mean, you talk about the history that these two have gone through and the moments that they have shared. It really is personal for so many that have come out here tonight to share their stories and these moments that they have witnessed with former President Jimmy Carter. And there's Angélique again, making her way down this blue carpet. We have just this star-studded lineup tonight. All of these people who have received their call. Angélique Kidjo taking a photo with Ambassador Young here. All of these folks that have received the call to make tonight a tribute and an honor to the former president. And as we heard from Angélique, as I'm sure we'll hear from so many other people, it was a no-brainer here. And of course, popping back on camera, I've been talking to you off camera here. This moment, just a reflection of how much impact the former president has had on so many lives, not just those that he's personally talked with, but also those who know his history, who know his humanitarian work, who know the impact that he's had, not just in the Peach State as a humble peanut farmer, but as a president, and even furthermore as a humanitarian. As you can see, more acts walking down. We have the drive-by truckers, Georgia legends. Oh my gosh, I'm fangirling myself here. Talk to me about receiving the call to come out here tonight and honor former President Jimmy Carter through music.
Well, I'm thrilled. I mean, I feel like I'm the one being honored. It's amazing. It's to be a part of a former president's 100th birthday, and especially Jimmy Carter. He was so far ahead of his time.
We talk about Jimmy Carter as a music lover himself. Why is music the perfect way to honor such a great man?
Well, he was a music lover of all kinds of music, and I think this is the perfect way to celebrate this milestone.
This and going out and voting, I know we'll be doing our part on that too. Go out and voting for Kamala, like I know Jimmy Carter's going to do too. So.
I know a lot of Georgians here that have come out tonight. They know you through your music. They know some have grown up with you. I mean, talk about paying this tribute to the former president, and also sending the message of what tonight's all about, which is just honoring a man who's dedicated every single day to giving back.
Absolutely. I mean, everything he's done from Habitat to Humanity to, giving people vaccines all over the world and eradicating diseases. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's never been anyone like him. He's extra special.
Any words for everybody who is going to be watching tonight and really starting the celebrations off for the former president?
Go vote.
Go, yes, please go vote.
Go vote. What would Jimmy Carter do?
What would Jimmy Carter do? That needs to go on a shirt. Thank you so much. The drive-by truckers, so many amazing folks that have come out tonight. As you can see, this blue carpet getting a lot busier than where we were an hour ago, and more musical talents, more celebrity guests. Any moment now you're going to see some familiar faces and names as just in the great beyond in the distance making their way down this carpet. We have Duane Betts on the carpet. We have Killer Mike will be joining here later on today. Hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to him. Just so many Georgia greats, and of course for these musical talents, they've said that music is a fantastic way to honor the former president, sharing their own personal memories of his impact, of his work, and even for Ambassador Young of a beloved a decade-long friendship and just a lot of history. Talk about some of the people that are making it out here. Just beyond what you see here, a lot of folks crowding Ambassador Young, understandably. And some of the other musical talents that you'll hear from tonight, Chuck Leavell, we heard just a moment ago from the Drive-By Truckers, Eric Church, a GROUPLOVE passed by here earlier this evening, the Warren Treaty, Maren Morris, India Arie, the B-52s. I mean, talk about big names in the musical scene in Georgia here. And all around us, it is getting jolly. You can see Angélique Kidjo, just the Drive-By Truckers, GROUPLOVE, everybody gathering around right before their musical performances and their tributes. Smiles, exchanging handshakes, exchanging conversation and stories, and just a really warm feeling in the room today as everybody comes together for tonight and for Jimmy Carter. can see the War and Treaty making their way just behind Ambassador Young. All smiles, all warmth tonight as they make their way inside of the Fox Theater. It really is just a night full of love here in Atlanta at the Fox Theater as this night gets underway, and all of these musical talents and these celebrity guests that are coming out. And not just that, but we're talking about Ambassador Young, Jason Carter, other people that have these personal connections. Dr. Bernice King will be making her way down as well. Of course, this is just no shortness of big names, and receiving the call to come and honor a former president, to celebrate what will be his 100th birthday, I'm sure is a no-brainer, as an immediate yes for everybody that could make it out here tonight. Understanding the significance of a moment like this, of a night like this. We have musical performances, we have speeches, we have personal connections, and of course we have a documentary that will go into Jimmy Carter's personal relationship with music and the story to love that the former president shared through song. So this is Jimmy Carter 100, a celebration in song, and that is what tonight is all about, with all of these folks that have made it out here to Midtown Atlanta at the Fox Theater, who we'll be seeing from later tonight. And if you're wondering who is just beyond all of these media folk, that is the one and only Ambassador Young. If you were with us earlier here on Atlanta News First Plus, you actually got to come with us up close talking to Ambassador Young. I want to just talk a little bit about what he said of former President Jimmy Carter. He said this was a man whose soul was so selfless, who dedicated every single day to so many people. And Ambassador Young, we are live here at Atlanta News First Plus. Talk to me a little bit about your shared time with Jimmy Carter and really knowing him on a more personal level.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that I really didn't have enough time with Jimmy Carter. Yes, we both lived. Well, I've probably known him for 75 years, at least. And we didn't spend a lot of time together, but whenever we got together, we didn't have to argue his instincts and my instincts seemed to hook up. And because I saw him as a black Southerner who'd been discriminated against and who had been denied a lot of opportunities, but that wasn't something to complain about. It was something to go change. He was the same way. He probably lived a harder and more discriminated life than I did, even though he was white. I don't know that you can imagine how difficult it was for a country white boy to get in the Naval Academy when he did, and then to be selected by Admiral Rickover as his assistant in developing a nuclear navy. So you go from being a peanut farmer to a nuclear physicist. And that is one hell of a journey. And he did it, and did it well, every inch of it.
Jason Carter had mentioned that former President Carter would be watching tonight, and he knew that tonight was happening. If you could say something to him right now, what would that be?
That we're in a better place than we ever would have been if you hadn't taken on the demons that you did. And I don't think we'll ever know or appreciate all of the battles he fought that we don't have to fight. I'll give you one. Have you ever heard of guinea worm? It's one of the nastiest diseases around. Fortunately, you and I didn't have to deal with it because he went over there and sort of stopped it in its infancy as it began to spread around West Africa. And he didn't do it personally, but he did it by bringing together some of the largest pharmaceuticals in the country to do some of their best research on something that they would make little or no money out of. And that was a victory on every account. And I think they've just about wiped out guinea worm in much of West Africa.
Ambassador Young, thank you so much.
How you doing? Doing all right?
Ambassador Young sharing emotional words about the former president. As you can imagine, a personal relationship spanning several decades, lifelong friends, leaders in their communities and beyond. Really, so many moments of history that Ambassador Young, former President Jimmy Carter, have endured together and have seen the growth of Georgia, the growth of this country, and we're really at the forefront of it all. Ambassador Young, a well-respected, historic icon here in Atlanta, here in Georgia, and a name that is worldwide well-known, well-respected, and well-loved. For him to be here tonight, in his own words, saying, he wouldn't miss this, that for former President Carter, he wanted to echo that every single day that he contributed and gave back through what he did best was loving his community and loving his nation. Well, that led to where we are today and all of our successes and in the state of the world, the state of humanitarian work here in the country and here across the world today. As you can see, Duane Betts talking to WABE right now, hopefully going to make his way over to us, but another musical talent here in Georgia, now at the Fox Theater, who will be making his own musical contributions and tributes to the former president. Duane Betts, of course, country music icon, well loved in the musical scene, well loved here in Georgia, and to see him here tonight honoring the former president just on the cusp of his 100th birthday. We're going to try to get you up close to listen in.
So you can only hope that you can do half that much in a lifetime. So,
Duane, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Duane, we're with Atlanta News First Plus. We just want to talk to you about tonight. You're one of the musical performances and tributes to the former president. But I want to talk about his connection to music and your appearance tonight. How is music an empowering way to honor a former president like Jimmy Carter?
Well, I mean, music's one of those things that just brings us all together, and he is a music lover, and has always been a music lover, and it's just, music is the greatest medicine on earth, and so why not?
Right. Talk to me about getting the call for this 100th celebration and song. I mean, for you, this must have been a no-brainer.
Not really. I mean, I was kind of surprised to get it, but I really felt like it was, it made sense, definitely, playing with Chuck. I mean, I played with Chuck, and it's such an honor playing with Chuck Leavell. He's an American treasure, but this one tops them all.
Certainly. We're on the cusp of 100 years old. Not many people can say that. So for the former president, what is your personal birthday wish?
Just to enjoy the music, and I hope that he watches and, in the comfort of his home and enjoys it. And, so many people around the world care deeply for him and about what he stands for. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Of course, just one of so many of these musical talents and these well-respected artists that are making their way out here today. As he mentioned, Chuck Leavell just behind him, talking to our Blair Miller, Atlanta News First evening anchor, and hopefully he'll make his way down here. But, I just want to echo the genres that we're seeing being represented here tonight. Country, rap, we are seeing African music, soul, so many different artists, R&B, that are coming out here to really display song, and for many of them, singing from the heart, and in an honor for former President Jimmy Carter and the Carter family that has come out here tonight. We saw them earlier on this blue carpet, just behind Duane, Chuck Leavell, talking to our Atlanta News First team. If you're watching us on air right now, you can catch these moments, and of course, hopefully he'll make his way down here, and we'll get to really talk to him about what tonight means. We are, of course, live on Atlanta News First Plus right now. If you're joining the conversation on our YouTube Live, we are reading through all of your comments right here. A lot of well wishes and happy birthday to the former president, who will be turning 100 years old on October 1st. But the celebrations in Atlanta, in Plains, really around the world, those start now, 2 weeks out. We have the Jimmy Carter 100 celebration and song happening tonight at the Fox Theater, and that is what you're seeing right here. Just icon after icon. Chuck Leavell, right behind him, Lalah Hathaway. So many musical talents that are going to be out here, so many celebrity talents. We have Georgia historical figures like Ambassador Young, who we just spoke to moments ago. More folks that have made tonight about really honoring and cherishing the former president and everything that he's done. And just on a more basic level, wishing a sincere happy birthday to a man who has dedicated the past 99 years to serving his community, both during his time as office and even well past that. You're talking about 8 years, 4 years that he gave within the White House, and all of the years that Jimmy Carter and former First Lady Rosalynn Carter gave around the world. So Chuck Leavell here as one of the musical acts will be performing inside of the Fox Theater. And again, we are reading all of your YouTube comments right now. Antoinette saying, happy 100th birthday, President Carter. Thank you for your service to our country and the United States. And it is important to point out that the former president served in the Navy. He really was about service, whether it was locally as a peanut farmer in Plains or on a national and global scale. He really did dedicate every single year to giving back. And some words that Jason Carter, his grandson, said, that was everything for him. He was a devoted religious man, and for him, a life well served was a life in service. So reading all of your comments here on YouTube, a lot of happy birthdays. Agatha saying, what a powerful example you've been to humanity of how to act as a real Christian spirit. Agolf saying, Jimmy Carter built 4,300 homes for the poor through his aid. He built 157 of those houses with his own 2 hands and sweat. It really is just powerful for everyone who has commented here, who has spoke here and spoke out about the wonderful work that the Carter Center and that the Carters as a family have done, have given back. And to see tonight is really a summary of what that means, not only as a living former president, but for all of his contributions as a person and beyond as well. So Chuck Leavell here tonight, so many others. We spoke moments ago to many of the musical acts that you'll see here tonight. We had the War and Treaty, we had Ambassador Young, not a musical guest of course, but really a treasure to see and speak with, and he spoke of the 75 years that the two shared together in friendship, a friendship and a bond that really ran deep. Lalah Hathaway just beyond on this blue carpet, and Dale Murphy speaking to some of our media here tonight. So we'll have a chance to highlight all of these wonderful folks and really talk to them about what tonight means.
Oh, great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hi, Chuck.
Hi there.
With Atlanta News First, we just want to talk about the music here tonight. This is a tribute and an honor, a celebration for the former president, but it's also a highlight of his love of music across all genres. Talk to me about the power of music in a celebration like tonight.
Well, you know, isn't it so cool that you've got Eric Church here, you know, you've got BeBe Winans, you've got the B-52s here. It's just such a wide range of musicians and artists here. And that reflects his love of music. He loved all of that stuff.
Getting the call to be here tonight, among the many musical acts and icons that we're seeing here, walk me through that.
Well, I think I might have been one of the first ones to get the call, and I was honored and flattered to get that call, and the answer immediately was yes. When do you want to do it, and what you want me to do? I'll be there. You know, it's just an honor to celebrate such a great humanitarian that's still with us, a great president, you know, done so much for eradicating guinea worm, making sure elections across the world are fair. And what a great man. The Carter Center and all the work that they do. So, and that's the great thing. What we're doing tonight is the funds will go to the Carter Center.
That's wonderful. I want to speak on, you know, you're such a well-respected musical icon, former president, well-respected both here and across the world. If you had a birthday message to him, if he was watching, what would that be?
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy Carter, for who you are and for all you have done. That's the message.
Thank you so much, Chuck. I really appreciate it. Chuck Leavell making his way down this blue carpet, one of the musical acts here tonight, and you can hear the warmth and the admiration in each of their voices, speaking on humanitarian work that the former president did, speaking on the life of service that he gave back, and just past the giving back perspective, talking about who he was and what he represented for so many people. And as a music lover, Jimmy Carter really appreciated the multiple genres that you see being represented here today: rap, R&B, country music, soul. We have so many different musical displays that are being represented in these musical talents that will be a tribute and a well-rounded appreciation for the former president. And Lalah Hathaway and Chuck, well, again, just a blend of musical talent here, standing for a photo, coming together to celebrate the former president. Love over here, love over here. One more. Thank you. Thank you. Lalah, can we speak to you here? Layla, I apologize.
That's okay.
Nerves got the best of me.
That's all right.
You're looking wonderful here tonight.
Thank you so
I want to talk about the music that is on display here tonight. So many genres, so many musical talents that have come out. You were one of the folks that got the call to celebrate the former president. Talking about the music here, Why is music the best way to honor a president like Jimmy Carter?
In my opinion, music is the best way to honor anyone. I think it just so happens that Jimmy Carter was like a music president. To see clips of him with James Brown and Dolly Parton and the Allman Brothers and all of these musicians, we know that he loved music. Willie Nelson, he really appreciated music. And so this is a fitting tribute because we know he loves music, you know.
And for a former president that really, I mean, outside of his administrative work, was a humanitarian across the world and a representation of what the best of humanity is, thinking on his legacy and his life as he walks into 100, what goes through your mind?
It's an amazing legacy. To have actually built homes that Americans live inside of is amazing. And what a legacy of peace and progress and bipartisanship, you know. I grew up with his name in our house being synonymous with good guy, and I appreciate that. There are not a whole lot of those left.
When you take the stage tonight, thinking on who Jimmy Carter is and every life that he has touched, what will drive you through your music?
I'm just gonna, you know, when I'm singing or when I'm tributing, which I do a lot of, it's like a love letter. Music is just a love letter to me. And so tonight will be my love letter for Jimmy Carter. And I hope that he feels it from my mom and her mom that talked about him with so much love and favor as well.
We want to give everybody an opportunity to wish the former president a happy birthday. We know we're a little out, but if you were able to talk to him right now, what would your birthday message be?
Oh, President Carter, we love you. The community loves you and always have and always will. Happy 100th birthday.
Lalah Hathaway, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And of course, you know, such kind words from so many musical talents that you're seeing on display here tonight. I want to echo what Lalah Hathaway said here just a moment ago. In her household, Jimmy Carter was synonymous with the definition of a good man. And that's what you'll hear tonight. That's what you heard from Ambassador Young. That's what you heard from so many of these folks that are making their way down here tonight. Dale Murphy right now talking to our Atlanta News First Evening anchor, Blair Miller, live right now. And as we're listening in, talking about the love that Jimmy Carter receives around the world for his connection and impact on the world.
Valley, WABE.
Yeah, how are you?
Everybody else?
Yeah.
Talk about, for those of us who grew up in Georgia, watched a little bit of TBS, even went to Fulton County Stadium. Talk about Jimmy Carter, the Braves fan.
Well, if he was attending the games back in the late 70s when Ted bought the team and in the early late 60s as well when they came here, he's seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and he was always there. He's a dedicated fan, and we've always appreciated that as players and also as the Braves organization. Like I said, he's seen some good teams and some not so good teams, but he's always there. And I think when Nancy was there with the kids and when I was out there playing, if you saw the Carters sitting there, you knew it was an extra special moment. And one you're really grateful. I think the older we get, the more grateful, the more we understand and appreciate it. Not that we didn't appreciate it when we were younger, but just, you know, time moves on and you think back and you think back and you're just very, very grateful for his support.
Yep.
Great.
I wanted to ask his presence in the sports world here in Georgia, really around the nation. He was a very present sports enthusiast. What did that mean, seeing him in the stands?
Well, I guess it's extra motivating when you see the president or former president in the stands pulling for you. And I think the main thing is you always appreciate the chance to put on a major league uniform. But when you look over there and you see the Carters there and what they've done throughout the world and realize that they're pulling for your team, it makes it a really unique and special opportunity to be a member of the Braves organization.
Personal interactions with the former president?
Just saying hi to him. I said earlier, I remember just about 5 or 6 years ago, I was here for an event, and I looked down, and I was upstairs. I looked down, I said, hey, there's the Carters. So I went down and said hi to him and just reintroduced myself. I look a little different now than I did when I played, so I didn't know if he recognized me. But you know, it's a thrill. It's hard to put into words, but I think the older you get, the more you appreciate and are grateful for someone who's a dedicated fan, not just checking the scores every day, but shows up when he can. That's pretty cool.
Lasting memory?
I'm sorry?
Just a lasting memory? Birthday wish?
Oh yeah, just want to wish you the happiest of birthdays, President Carter, and the Braves are hanging in there this year, and I think they're going to pull it out. Maybe they'll give you a great birthday present.
Just for him. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
A lot of legends in this room that you're seeing here. What a treat it is to be able to talk to them and talk about Jimmy Carter on the cusp of his 100th birthday, no less. A lot of talent and a lot of beloved figures here in Georgia will be filling this room inside of the Fox Theater as they're making their way down this blue carpet, speaking out on the great memories they've had or the moments they've shared, or even wishing the former president a happy birthday with a warmth and a love to it that really, I mean, we talk about what a special moment this is for a living president to reach 100, a historic moment, but not just that. Talk about a president like Jimmy Carter representing Georgia on the national and global stage and all of the lives that he's touched. Just beyond, we have Carlene Carter, country music legend. He'll be performing tonight as well. A lot of musical talents, a lot of sports talents, a lot of Georgia really icons all around. So Carlene Carter right now in a beautiful blue sequence outfit, making her way down the blue carpet here. We're going to try to get some few words with her.
By the way, you look absolutely extravagant.
Thank you.
Loving this.
I've never been on a blue carpet.
Exactly. I thought it was going to be red too, but you know what? It's going perfect. That's a quite same shade of blue, so you're sticking out, and I love it. I'm a glitter girl myself, but I want to ask you one question. You had mentioned, I saw this somewhere, that you felt like you had a literal kinship with the former president, Jimmy Carter. Talk to me more about that.
Well, the funny thing is I always felt like I was kin to him because my mother always said that we were cousins. And I always took my mom's stories a little bit with a grain of salt because she was the greatest storyteller in the world, where she would always end up where it would be just a little juicier and just a little more, to make the story feature better. If it made the story better, then she's going to be Jimmy Carter's cousin. As it turns out, they are. So I am. And so for the longest time, I used to say, if people said, are you actually related to Jimmy Carter? I'd say, I sure hope so.
Beautiful. And then tell me, how was it to get that call that be invited here to, perform and, help celebrate the former president's 100th birthday extravaganza?
To be honest, I about burst into tears because I couldn't believe, I really couldn't believe that I was being invited. I don't know. I mean, I just always have felt like he's up, he's up there, and I'm like somewhere down here in the trudges of being a musician. But I think it's like his love for music, and somehow or another, my love for music coincides with his, and I don't know. I mean, I'm a little emotional. Got to be honest. This is very unlike me, really, because I'm usually a giggling mess. But I'm happy to be here and honored, and I wish I could put my arms around him and hug him and tell him, "Hi, cuz, how you doing?"
Carlene, I could see the warmth and the glow talking about the former president here. Tonight is all about music, and he had a love of music across so many genres. Country touched his heart especially. Talk to me about the power of music in honoring someone like Jimmy Carter.
Well, music is the greatest communication tool we have on this planet. I really believe that. I think it unites us in a way that you can have a ton of meetings with people, but you put a song in there, you're going to know them a lot better. And I think that he got that part. And I loved watching the documentary about him, the rock and roll president, because he lights up when he's hearing music he loves. And I'm like that. I have done nothing but smile all day. In fact, my bass kind of hurts. And I'm, you know, my mom always said he's a good man. And I always trusted her about that stuff. Because she used to say to me, Johnny Cash is a good man. So you need to pray for him at night. This is a long time ago. So I remember when Jimmy Carter was our president, I used to think I needed to say a little prayer for Jimmy Carter because he was my cousin. It wasn't just that. It was like I just liked his way of doing things. And the fact, I mean, I think I've talked about this before, but it's like I really respect the fact of where he came from and the fact that he's had his hands in the dirt. And there's not one single person in this country, I believe, whose family didn't come here and have their hands in the dirt at some point, because that's how we all united. Well, he's got his fingers in music and the dirt, and, you know, and he's smart. He's a smart man and kind, generous of spirit. I mean, I can just go on and on. Y'all want some more superlatives on Jimmy Carter? I got it.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Good luck today.
Thank you.
All right.
And we have right behind Carlene, India Arie, of course, a musical treasure and someone who speaks on change, on impact, on self-love, things that the former president stood by and spoke out on himself. So a lot of music on display here tonight. India Arie, for the Atlanta News First, you know, you are a musical legend and you speak a lot about self-love and empowerment, things that the former president also stood on. Talk to me about that musical connection.
Where would I even start to talk about that? I mean, the reason why I'm here tonight, because I've been quiet since 2020, very quiet. I haven't been doing a lot. I have done 4 performances, period, since 2020. I don't do a lot. And I've flown 1 million miles on Delta alone. So I used to move, and now I'm not. And they called me about this, and I said yes immediately, not only to honor Jimmy Carter and everything that he means to us, but also because we do stand for the same things, and he's just been doing it for 100 years longer than me. And it feels good to be able to come and perform and not be doing it just because I'm trying to get somebody to hear my new song, but because I have songs that match his mission, because it's mine too. And so that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm here. That's why I came out the house. 'Cause I'm barely out.
I've asked this to a few of the performers. You know, it's legendary, the role that music played in Governor Carter, President Carter, campaign, and since. Is there still that role for music right now in bringing people together and even in politics?
I certainly think there's a role in bringing people together. I think people are just in a different place right now, so bringing them together looks a little different with the music, you know, because people are kind of combative right now. So anything that makes people feel strong is kind of what's happening at the moment. Like Kendrick Lamar, like they're not like it's everywhere because it's making people feel, you know, a way. But I also think I'm going to just go on a limb and say that when Kamala wins, I think there's going to be a lot of music involved. Because they've already asked me to do a little stuff. I haven't gone yet. But I have a song with her name in it from 2018 because I've always loved her. And so I just feel like there might be more space for it again in this next administration. I think so. Do you? You don't have an opinion? I think so. But what we do know is that music is always going to shape and fit around the shape of what society is doing, always and forever and forever and forever.
When you're up on stage tonight, you know, like so many people here thinking about Jimmy Carter in the past 99, almost 100 years, what's going to go through your mind and heart?
Being honored to serve. I was just asked if I felt music played a role in society, and I do. it's what my life is built on, so I have to believe that it is so. But also, for me, music is my passion, but in those moments where it gets to be a service, I'm here to serve and to enjoy the idea that he may see it, that he may actually see me sing a song. Like,
Any birthday messages to the former president?
just happy birthday, President Carter, and our birthdays are 2 days apart, October 1st and October 3rd.
Happy birthday, Arie.
Thank you. Happy birthday, President Carter. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So many people on this blue carpet, this special star-studded carpet, all to honor Jimmy Carter. And there you have India Arie taking photos on her way inside of the Fox Theater, where she will be one of the musical acts in the tributes to President Jimmy Carter.
Sorry.